Welcome back to week 3. So for week 3, we're going to be looking at several different things. One thing is chapter 3 in our textbook, and of course chapter 3 is down here on Blackboard as always. You're going to be looking at Mitchell certification, which you're going to get your first certification, which we're going to put into your portfolio. With your portfolio, of course, you're going to be building a resume in this class and a cover letter and a thank you letter for an interview. You're going to have, eventually, you're going to probably have a driving record copy and some other items. But you're going to have certifications, and our first certification is this Mitchell certification. So let's take a peek at how this certification works. Here's the page. So you're going to click on this link right here. What that's going to do is it's going to open up a quiz page. You're going to fill in your name. You don't have to worry about an account number. And this does not save your certification. So I've had students in the past that do this. They print it out, they turn it in for the class, or they take a screenshot or whatever it is that they do. They turn it in for the assignments, and they don't actually keep a physical copy. And then they come back to me in a couple of semesters and say, hey, how do I get my Mitchell certification? I took it, I passed it, and I can't seem to get back in to get the results of my passing that quiz. And the answer is it doesn't save it. So therefore, you'd have to take it again. Not a big deal. It's not that hard of a quiz. But what I'd suggest is print that certificate and put it in your 3-ring binder. And then you always have it. You don't have to do it again in the future. So a lot of what we're doing in this class, you need to hang on to these documents to save them for the future. All right, so this is the link right here, myquestbase.com, and that's the quiz. This is the link to actually go into the online service information. And this will go all the way back to like 1965. There's a Mitchell Vintage in there, so you can get information from 65 all the way to current model year cars. Now, I will caution you with current model year cars, there's not as much information. Typically, more information comes out as the car comes out on warranty. So when you go into a 2017, 2018, whatever year it is that we're in at this moment, you're going to find there's very, very small amount of material there for that particular year car. But as we get past, like if you went back to 2012, you're going to see a whole lot more information than when that 2012 was brand spanking new. This is our username and a password that could potentially change in the future, and if it does, I will update this screen. So if you need to get into ProDemand at any point in the course, this is our week 3, so you can always come back to week 3 and get that information again. All right. You don't need to sign into that to take the quiz, but I highly encourage you. You can also go to ProDemand.com, and it has a link there that says About ProDemand, and it'll talk about all the things that you're going to need to know for that quiz. So you can either poke around in the system itself and answer the questions, or you can go to ProDemand.com and read about ProDemand and take the quiz. All right, so that'll give you the certification. Again, print it off, scan it, upload it through this folder, which you guys know how to do. Or you can take a photo, as long as the photo is a very good photo that I can read, and then upload that photo to there. That'll be graded then. Okay, and that is a quiz grade for that particular assignment. All right, so we are also looking at what's called the RO packet. There's no discussion board this week, so there's plenty to do with the certification and with this RO packet, so I'm not giving you a discussion board. Yay, I'm sure, because I know when I was a student, I never really liked discussion boards that much. Unfortunately, it's just part of an online class. You do have to do this from time to time. But this week, I'm giving you a little break from that because you do have a decent amount to do with the RO packet. So let's go take a look at the RO packet. This is our RO packet. And if you click on the link here for RO packet, it's going to have a PDF file. So if you click on that, it's going to say PDF inside of there. And then there's an assignment. So you're going to have to fill out, or you're going to have to answer some questions from that RO packet PDF. So if we click on that real quick, just to bring that up, let's see what it looks like. Here's our PDF folder. That's going to be what you're going to be using to help you answer the questions. This is the questions. Okay, it's just like a homework assignment. So you're going to go in there and you're going to answer the questions, multiple choice. And then we have a folder here that says repair orders. There are 4 repair orders. There's a customer by the name of Vang, Benson, Hansen, and Valenta. So those 4 people you have to do repair orders for and basically total the thing out. We're going to take it all the way to the stage of an invoice. Don't forget the tax. It's going to tell you what tax percentage to put on for that particular repair. Required parts, required labor, and that is how you do it. So if you are off by 1 penny, that repair order is wrong. So you really need to take your time and be very, very careful with this and look the information up in the labor time guide that's attached in this PDF. I'm going to go over that in just a second. But be very, very careful. Make sure that you're 100% correct. Because if you think about it, as a service consultant, can you make mistakes on billing? And no, you can't. You really can't, because your boss is going to let you go if you keep making mistakes on billing. Whether we're overcharging the customer, which could lead to a lawsuit, or we're undercharging the customer, which could lead to our company going out of business. So we got to make sure we're accurate. This is a pretty important thing. This is all paper-based. We're going to get into an electronic-based time labor guide with Mitchell. And you guys did a little bit of that with your certification if you've done that ahead of time, or did it before this. So this is the paper version of the labor time guide. It's the way things used to be done. It's good for you guys to see it. It's a little time consuming, so take your time. Remember, this is the packet that you're going to be answering questions on. These are the repair orders. 4 repair orders. Don't forget to do all 4. Okay, so those are graded. And again, it's a homework assignment, so make sure that you get those done by Friday, 11:59. That's when everything's due, as you already know. Okay, so let's take a peek at this RO packet and see what goes on. So this is basically just a scanned chapter out of a textbook, not the textbook you guys are using, but a different one. And it talks about how to calculate out time. Now, if I say, hey, that job is going to take me 2/10 of an hour. 2/10 of an hour, there are obviously 10 pieces of the clock. So if you take a clock, an old analog clock with hands on it, and you split that into 10 pieces, there are 60 minutes in an hour. Therefore, each one of those tenths is 6 minutes. So if I said, hey, that job is going to pay me 2/10 of an hour, I'm a flat rate technician, meaning I'm working by the job. So let's say I got to put wiper blades on, and wiper blades pay me 2/10 of an hour. That gives me 12 minutes to put wiper blades on. Okay, so that doesn't mean I get additional time to pull the car in. That means 12 minutes for the whole job. So finding keys, pulling the car in, taking your wiper blades off, getting the other wiper blades from parts, all of that is your 12 minutes. That's what you get paid. That's how we bill for the automotive shop as well. So the automotive shop is going to say, okay, well, you need wiper blades. Wiper blades are $10.50 for that particular car, and it's 2/10 of an hour labor. And if my labor rate at the shop is $100 an hour, 2/10 of that would be $20. So there you go. You add those two together, you put tax on the parts, or depending, again, which state you're in, you may tax your labor and your parts. But in our state, we just tax parts. So you tax the part, you'd add that all together, and there's your amount. Now, obviously, if you're doing any kind of oil changes and things like that, we typically do a hazardous material charge as well. Maybe even shop supplies that gets tacked onto the job. But something like wiper blades, you're probably not going to see very much money associated with that. Maybe a $2 charge or something like that, but they may waive it. Depends on the shop. All right, so this is how it works. So if you scroll down through here, it'll see that if we have 4/10 of an hour and it's a $65 labor rate, then we would charge $26. So it's pretty simple. So that part I don't think you guys will have any trouble with. One thing that I do see, and they give you some examples of repair orders and how they're filled out. So pay attention to that as you're doing your repair orders further down in this chapter. This is where I pulled the test questions or your homework questions for this particular assignment. So I've pulled some of these and I've said, hey, convert this to decimal time. So 6/10 of an hour. You're going to take and you're going to turn that into hours and minutes. Well, 6 times 6 is 36. So there I give you your first answer. 6/10 of an hour is 36 minutes. There are no hours because it's a part of an hour. So I've had students in the past that say, oh, well, this is such and such an hour. Well, no, it's not. 1.3 would be, yes, there's 1 hour there. So that's 1 hour and a certain number of minutes. So you guys are going to, again, have to take that 0.3 or 3 and times it by 6, which would be 18. So we have 1 hour, 18 minutes. So hopefully you guys get the idea. Now, when we talk about rounding, rounding, again, is rounding to the nearest tenths of an hour. So if you look at one that's kind of doesn't fit real well, so you go, okay, well, 6 times 3, or 6 times 2 is 12, and 6 times 3, or, 6 times 3, if we're right in the middle, like let's say we had 15 minutes of time that you, the technician, took to do the job, then we would have to round that to the next tenths. So with this particular assignment here, when it says round tenths to the nearest tenths of an hour, we're going to round up typically. So if we're over by a minute, we're typically going to round up to the next tenths of an hour, so that, again, the shop doesn't lose money on that. If we're below, then we're going to round down. All right. Looking up information in this time labor guide, it's in the appendix. So you're going to have to look up like an oxygen sensor. How much is the price of the oxygen sensor? So let's take a peek at that. So we have a 2000 Saturn, okay? So a 2000 Saturn with it's an LS with a 3.0 liter, and it has an automatic transmission. All of those things are really important. You need to know this. So we're looking for an oxygen sensor. Here's your repair orders that you're going to be filling out. So you will have to print off these particular copies of the repair order, okay, fill those out, and then you're going to scan those and upload them, or take a photo of and upload it to Blackboard. There's 4, okay, so you're going to be doing the 4. So that is, and I'm skipping back here, but that is these questions right here, 27, 28, 29, 30. Those are your 4 repair orders. So in addition to that assignment that you have, where you're going to do multiple choice on tenths of an hour and how much does it cost for parts and pieces, you're going to have to do those 4 repair orders again. Okay, so that gets submitted separately, but that's where you're going to get them. You're going to print them off right there out of this packet. So when you go to print, make sure you don't print the whole packet, just print those particular pages. All right, hopefully you guys can handle doing that. Now, I'm looking for an O2 sensor. So we go, okay, well, where's an O2 sensor at in this particular manual? Well, if you're not sure in this index where to go, then you look it up by the actual alphabetical index, which is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to just go MNO, there we go, oxygen sensor. So here it is, 53-4 is where it's located, okay? And we're going to go down through here then and find 53-4. So if we look here, here's 53-1. Okay, we're looking for 53-4. 53-3. 53-3. And I apologize, it's 53-4 is the page number. There we go. All right, so better. All right, you have labor and you have parts. So here we are at 53-4. Okay, and if we look at oxygen sensor here, R&R means remove and replace. So this is our labor portion. So we need to get to the right section. You can see here it says labor. Okay, so we're going to look for parts. So we need 3, which is electrical, and we need parts. So labor comes first, and then we should have parts. So scrolling down, there we go. Oxygen sensor is job number 12. So let's take a peek. Job number 12. This is parts. 3 liter. Okay. And I believe it said it was at the front of the exhaust pipe, or it may have said it was at the exhaust manifold. We'd have to go back and take a peek to remember, because I don't remember where it was. Right here at the exhaust manifold, we have this particular part number, so that's what you're going to fill into your repair order, and $195. Okay, the job number again is 12. Okay, so it's 3-12. So electrical oxygen sensor. Okay, 195 bucks. All right, if you were to look up the labor for it, we would again come back to labor section and look at oxygen sensor, remove and replace. Here it is. We have a 3 liter